What's up, YouTube Combat here, and today I want to talk about a few tips and tricks on how to improve your kill-death ratio here in Call of Duty, whether it be Modern Warfare Remastered, or Black Ops 3, or Infinite Warfare. These tips will help you in all those games, and I think they'll at least be able to enhance your ability to have better games, because I know that's kind of one of the things that everyone wants to do, is they want to get better at these games. They don't want to be shitty, and it was some of these tips that I used to get better at Call of Duty, because when I started, I was terrible at this game. I had like a .35 for a long time in Modern Warfare 2, and now it's like a .98 with 50,000 kills, and it's been a long, hard tread, like, work to get it to that point, which I'm kind of proud of that, because I was like around 15 or 20,000 kills below deaths at one point. You know, I had like 20,000 more deaths than I had kills, and that was a long road to get, like, I think I'm within 1,300 or something like that. Regardless of that, there's, I think, 3 really big tips that I can give people, other than just, you know, being better than people. Map knowledge is, I think, the biggest tip I can give anyone. Learning the maps and playing them to your advantage. Like, knowing that, okay, I'm at this car, I have advantage over everyone that comes down this road, unless, you know, I can't see them. Regardless of that, I have the advantage over them because of what they see versus what I see. I would see their whole body. They can only see probably the top 15% of me, you know, my head and whatnot. The problem with that is I am obviously open to attacks from behind, but regardless of that, when you're trying to control a map, you need to know what advantages and disadvantages you have in every spot you're in. You have to know the map well enough to know where players are going to come from and how to control it in your favor. So it's very integral to know how to control a map, how to get to certain spots, how to flank certain areas, and, like, just knowing the map better than who you're playing against. Like, knowing that you can get up to that ledge on the right hand side here without having to go up the stairs, knowing that you can go on top of the cars and get up there that way, will make you a better player, because you'll be able to catch people by surprise, because they're looking down those stairs expecting people to come that way when you're coming up top of the cars. So it's just little things of knowing how to best your opponent, and knowing that you can get away with certain things by knowing the maps and understanding them, and getting to know good places for cover, getting to know where they're going to spawn. That's a big thing. That's why I play Crash so well, is because I know that if I'm in that 3-story building, they're going to only spawn one of 2 places. They're either going to spawn back by, you know, spawn on bomb there, that main spawn, or they're going to spawn back by that building. And it's like, okay, I know how to control both those spots. It's easy to go. So map knowledge, I think, is the biggest thing. And the one way you're going to get that is just by playing this game more and more and more. And you know what? You might have to sacrifice some of your kill-death ratio, but you'll have to utilize that, I think, to get better. You know, you have to learn map. You have to learn the maps. And I think that it's one of those things that it takes time, and it's going to take a little bit of effort. But if you want to get better at the game, you have to learn the maps. One of the biggest other tips I could have for you guys is increasing your aim. A lot of tips that a lot of people like to give out to others is like, hey, turn your sensitivity all the way up so you can turn on guys. No, that is the biggest false tip I can say. My sensitivity is between like a 3 and a 5. That is what I recommend for any new player, and really for anyone. Unless you're trying to hit dank trick shots, you do not need to go over like a 5 sensitivity, because at that point it becomes a little bit harder to control the recoil of these guns. It becomes a little bit harder to control what your player is doing at times, because you need to be able to lock onto a player, and you need to stick on that lock on. I know probably some pros use 10s so they can turn on people. Not for me. I don't find it integral. I find that if you're in the right positions, you shouldn't need to really move your body too much. So you should actually have a lower sensitivity, because then you can stay on target, hit those shots, and you can move target to target a lot easier. It might not be as fast, but it's going to be a lot more accurate. And that's how you can really improve your aim, is by just being more accurate with the gun you're using, and not losing simple gunfights when you shouldn't. I don't think you're at a much of a disadvantage if you do run a 3 or 5 sensitivity. I don't think turning it all the way up is the right move. The last tip I have, is more of something that I found works for me, and that is finding a gun to use on every single map. Find a gun so you know what kind of playstyle you want to play with. You know, for me, if I'm using an SMG, I'm more running and gunning. If I'm using an assault rifle, I'm going to kind of find an area to control, hold it down, and play it that way. but I also need to find the right assault rifle for each map. So for me, Countdown, a map like Countdown, is a map that I'll use an M16 for because I need the more accuracy at longer range. So I know that I can lock onto a target, hit my first burst, hit the second burst, a little bit more accurate long range, take out those snipers a little bit easier. A map like Vacant, I want to be able to run around and have as much control over that map as possible. So I'm going to use an SMG and I'm run and gun with it. So I use the AK-74U, it's my most comfortable SMG. Then there's Crossfire, which I'll use either probably an MP5 or an AK-74U on that map as well, because I like to run around and have control of one of the two sides. For this map, I like using an M4 or G36C because there are multiple times where I have to move from target to target because there's a lot of action going on that I want that mobility and the freedom of having a non-burst fire weapon. So I think figuring out what weapon you like to use on what map will help you play that map better and play it consistently. So knowing the map is huge. Finding a gun you enjoy on each map and can play and use that playstyle with that gun on every map. And also leaving your sensitivity at a low 3 to 5 just to improve your aim, to improve your ability to control that recoil. Because those are little tips, I think, that'll help you improve in the long term to get that KD higher. I'm now a 2 KD player. I was once a 0.5 KD player. And these are the little things that I used to get better at the game. I hope they help. If they do, leave a comment down below. If you want to see more videos from me, hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button. Until next time, guys, Combat signing off. Peace.